class of 2021, please rise and be recognized as we play Pomp and Circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise for the singing of our national anthem by our BHS choirs.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ryan Ferreira, proud principal of Battlefield High School, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome all of our guests, families, friends, loved ones, and of course our graduates, to our 2021 commencement ceremony. Before I begin this evening, I would like to recognize our distinguished guests and thank them for being here with us. Dr. Baber Latif, Chairman at Large, Prince William County School Board. Mrs. Lisa Zagarpour, Vice Chairwoman, Prince William County School Board. Coles District. Mrs. Adele Jackson, Prince William County School Board, Brentsville District. Mrs. Jennifer Wall, Prince William County School Board, Gainesville District. The Honorable Ann Wheeler, Board of County Supervisors, Chairman at Large. The Honorable Andrea Bailey, Board of County Supervisors, Vice Chair, Potomac Magisterial District. The Honorable Peter Candland, Board of County Supervisors, Gainesville Magisterial District. The Honorable Janine Lawson, Board of County Supervisors, Brentsville Magisterial District. Dr. Stephen L. Waltz, Superintendent of Prince William County Schools. Mr. Al Shiroki, Associate Superintendent for Support Services. Ms. Rita Everett Goss, Associate Superintendent for Student and Professional Learning. Dr. Jarcelyn Hart, Associate Superintendent for Western Elementary Schools. And Ms. Paula Ford, Dean, Information and Engineering Technologies, Northern Virginia Community College. Ms. Ford will be handing certificates to our students who have earned information technology certificates through the college. Thank you all for being here. As we begin, I will also ask you to just take a moment to soak in the fact that we are here together right now. What an amazing sight after this past year we had. I would like to thank and recognize our guests on stage for their role that they played in making this possible. I would also like to thank Battlefield High School Assistant Principal Billy Childress for coordinating graduation this year under especially challenging circumstances. While I promise to only take a short time this evening, I do want to share a few comments with our graduates. Class of 2021, a little over a year ago, Virginia schools were shut down and we were thrown into a state of the unknown. It was difficult for you, and it was difficult for the Battlefield High School faculty and staff. If you remember, some members of our faculty collaborated on a video slideshow of staff holding up messages of hope to students. One of the included songs was by Bruno Mars and had the line, "You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know that when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there." Because that's what friends are supposed to do. At the time, we had no idea the extent to which that song would play out in reality. I heard so much in the past year of what you have lost. But I think you gained two very important things, and that's what I want to share today. While the pandemic brought massive disruption to our lives, I had the privilege of watching this school community pull together for each other. I saw our students write letters to those in assisted living homes, send holiday gifts overseas, and find every possible way to help each other. BHS Minithon raised over $18,000 for pediatric cancer research and family support despite not being able to even hold their event. And those are just some examples of the care displayed by our students for others. The great late actor Robin Williams once said, "Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always." While the pandemic took away our connections, I hope it helped us realize how important these connections are so that we never take them for granted again. And always treat others as we would want to be treated. Members of this community, school, and greater faced significant tragedy and heartache, either directly related to COVID or things were just made harder because of COVID, especially with our loss of connection. We need empathy in our world now more than ever. And when I look out at this class, I have so much hope after witnessing how you took on this challenge and succeeded and cared for each other, your families, and for your school and community. How many of you in the past year have binge-watched an entire television series? Just raise your hand. Okay, how about more than one? Keep your hand up. All right, how about 5 or more? Okay, now a couple of you, now I know what you were doing when your cameras were off. You were watching TV. In one of my favorite TV shows, one of the many shows my wife and I binge-watched in the last year, How I Met Your Mother, the main character says of humanity, "Love is still the best thing we do." I think the class of 2021 has gained a special perspective on human connection that was so needed in this time. And that is gain number one. For gain number two, let's look at what the class of 2021 accomplished in the past year, despite the many obstacles. Among you today is a graduate walking the stage with an associate's degree in informational technology, a TikTok celebrity, and award winners in leadership, healthcare, engineering, and art. We have district, regional, and state champions in athletics, including our cheerleaders who won their second straight state championship in the middle of a pandemic. How you absolutely crushed cheerleading while having to wear a mask, I don't know, but you did it. Additionally, so many of you have earned countless scholarships and industry and professional certifications. Now, maybe you're sitting there and you didn't necessarily receive any of these accolades, but you are here. Despite all of it, every single one of you is earning your diploma today. So whether you are already sitting on a mountain of accomplishments or you are just getting started, You need to hang your heads high today because you did it. And you did it in circumstances unlike anyone else had to do before. Life is always going to throw you curveballs. And I don't mean to minimize tragedy in any way with a baseball analogy, and I'm talking about massively breaking, devastating curveballs. Life never seems to go exactly as planned. Honestly, to many people here today, I know for a fact the pandemic has nothing compared to the curveballs they have had thrown at them. But you didn't lose out this year because you have now all learned as you go forward in life, you can hit those curveballs. It may take a lot of swings, but you can hit that curveball and you will continue to hit that curveball as you move forward. So class of 2021, wherever you go next, whether college or the workforce, when you are unsure of where to even begin, remember that while you lost a lot of your high school career, you made 2 gains beyond a diploma. The gain of tremendous empathy and knowing that love is still the best thing we do, and the confidence that as curveballs come your way, you can hit them. Thank you for inspiring our community and for all your hard work to get here. I'd also like to recognize students who are already demonstrating these gains in a very tangible way. Will our graduates who are heading to the military or a military academy please stand to be recognized? Keep standing. And you can keep standing. I want to thank you in advance for your service to our nation. And additionally, will anyone in the audience who is active or retired military please stand with these graduates and be recognized? Thank you all sincerely for your service to our country. You may be seated. And now with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker, someone who has always showed care, love for, and confidence in the students, staff, and community of Prince William County Schools, the Superintendent of Prince William County Schools, Dr. Stephen Waltz.
I must say, I've missed you. It is so good to see all of you in person, and I'm incredibly proud of your accomplishments. You know, in modern day history, you had it harder than anyone else in decades to get to this day, and you did it. So I'm very proud of you, and let's give them another round of applause. I also want to say that I'm extremely proud of Mr. Ferreira and his administrative team and the teachers and support staff of Battlefield. These folks had to pivot on a dime to go to virtual learning, and they did an awesome job. I think we got better every day at it, and without them, we wouldn't be here as well. And finally, just a shout out to all the parents and relatives who helped the students and supported them to this day. So congratulations to each and every one of those groups. Job well done. So, you know, a graduation is such a huge milestone in a person's life, and it causes one to reminisce about what it took to get here and memories that you've cherished or had, some not so good, some really great, and everything in between. And there's a lot of emotion tied to a graduation. Our daughter graduated on Saturday from Colgan, and I'm more or less graduating from Prince William County as your superintendent. So I'm going back through memory lane, and I promise to keep my remarks very short, but I will tell you I had the hardest time coming up with some of the memories I was going to share with Battlefield, because if there was ever a competition you won, it was the students trying everything under the sun. You think I'm going to say to call a code red, but that isn't it. To get me to come out to Battlefield for one thing after another. And I made so many trips out to Battlefield before the pandemic, it's hard to keep track of the amazing things that I saw you doing. And, you know, the academic programs are amazing. The arts, oh my gosh, such a richness with all of these things. The athletics, and so many good memories that I had to whittle the list down to a very, very few. But I wanted to share a few of them. You know, one of my first visits when things started really ticking up on what I felt like a connection with students in schools was the Teacher of the Year a couple of years back, Mrs. Drake. And the excitement of the student body around that was truly amazing. Everything that's happened in robotics, you know, it all started at Battlefield. It was the first school in Prince William County to have a robotics program, and I remember the signing day. And now every one of our 100 schools has a robotics program. That's amazing. Again, it started here. I remember getting roped into doing a promposal a couple of years ago. That was fun. And then the robotics kids got me involved. I was invited to a football game, and they wanted me to operate the robot that was a cannon that shot these T-shirts. I think it was breast cancer awareness or something like that. And I was like, I'm really going to embarrass myself. But I had such good student instructors that I actually was able to drive the robot and shoot off some T-shirts out into the audience. I will never forget the Putnam County Spelling Bee, and I don't think our chairman will probably ever forget it either, because we both had little cameo roles, and he actually wore purple socks that night, I remember. But that was so much fun, and again, these are just a very, very few examples. One of my other favorite memories was when Channel 7, and you know, when the news media calls you, that's not always like a welcome call when you're the school superintendent, but they called and they said, you know, we want to go to a high school and we want to bring the storm tracker out, and we want to drive around a little bit, and then we want to interview like 15 students and talk about how you make these weather calls and that sort of thing. And that was a really fun memory I have of Battlefield students doing that interview. I had been, prior to the pandemic, been to Battlefield so many times it was almost embarrassing, because, you know, I try to get to the high schools multiple times a year, but this was like over the top. And I had a student who reached out to me and said, you've got to come out to Battlefield because I want you to see what we're doing in AP World. And I was like, well, I think I've been to Battlefield like 15 times this year already, and I'm trying to make sure I get to all the schools. And he said, no, you got to come out and see. We do Minecraft in AP World. And it really piqued my curiosity. So I made another quick trip. They brought me in a side door and up into the classroom. And it was just mind-blowing seeing the students so engaged, replicating these ancient civilizations using Minecraft. And so the innovation that goes on out here, I think, is just, again, off the chart. So I definitely will miss singing my Code Red songs for you, but we did have some fun with that. I love sayings, and so I'll end with a saying that I chose just for the Battlefield group. The stars will never align, and the traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time. The universe doesn't conspire against you, but it doesn't go out of its way to line up the pins either. Conditions are never perfect. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. Pro and con lists are just about as bad. If it's important to you and you want to do it eventually, just do it and correct course along the way. I hope you have fantastic adventures, much continued success in your lives, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Waltz. And at this time, it gives me great pride to welcome our next speaker to the stage. This student leader will be heading to the University of Virginia in the fall to study computer science. Please give a warm welcome to the president of the class of 2021, Mr. Preston Borden.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrero. Good afternoon, students, teachers, distinguished guests, and to all of our graduates. My name is Preston Borden, and I am president of the senior class. I want to thank you all for coming out here under these interesting circumstances. And I'd like to start off my speech with a few shout-outs. First off, shout out to my wonderful mother and father, I know you're out there somewhere, for supporting me through all my endeavors, for putting clothes on my back and food on the table, and always being there for me. Thank you so much. Also, another special shout out to my two older brothers, Wally and Sebi, for being the real trailblazers in my life and making sure I stayed on the right path at all times. Thank you so much. Now, let's get to the speech. It has truly been an honor to serve as your president over this past year. And it is even more of an honor to be here in front of you speaking today. Now, I know you're all sick of hearing it, but graduating in the midst of a pandemic has to be worth something. For one, I know if any of my future kids complain about a stomach ache or a cold, I'll just let them know, hey, I graduated during a pandemic. I mean, you have no excuse now. Anyways, when I reminisce about this past year in the not-so-distant future, I'll remember it by words like difficult, stressful, hopeless, and painful. However, there is one word that has been used to describe this past year that I also believe is applicable to our class as well. We have seen this word plastered in our malls, on our favorite restaurants and grocery stores, and even on our college rejection letters, and believe me, I would know I got a couple of those. It is a word that has been used to deny us of our previous freedoms, and that word is unprecedented, meaning not known or done before. Even though this adjective makes many of us cringe just from hearing it, I believe that as a class we can change its connotation and make it our own. You see, as a class, we have witnessed so much pain and change during our time indoors. We have been trapped in our computer screens and relegated from our domiciles away from our friends and family, which meant that as a class, we weren't able to do much over this past year. But these unprecedented times will make for unprecedented people. During our time indoors, our gifts and talents have been silent and hidden away from the world. No one knows exactly what we can do. No one knows exactly how much we each have to share with the world, and no one has seen how gifted we are as a class. It is imperative that we show the world that we are the class that will get it done. We're the class of the future. Among us are the tinkerers, innovators, orators, artists, and doctors, and musicians of tomorrow. So, as we throw our hats in the air and congratulate each other, I challenge you to surprise the world with your talent. I challenge you to bring about the next technological revolution. I challenge you to follow in the footsteps of civil rights leaders of today and break barriers. I challenge each and every one of you to be unprecedented. Thank you. Nerve-wracking a little bit. This stage, right, left?
You can go that. That's good.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely nothing was going to stop us from hearing Bel Canto sing May the Road Rise Up at graduation. So at this time, I would like to recognize the Battlefield Bel Canto under the direction of Mr. Douglas Burney, who will be performing a recording of May the Road Rise Up. Absolutely beautiful. I appreciate those students recording that. It is a privilege for me to now introduce to you your class of 2021 Salutatorian. This young man is graduating from Battlefield with a GPA of 5.041. When I found that out, I counted, and I own less than 5 pairs of shoes. He will be attending Northwestern University in the fall to study materials science and computer science. Please welcome to the podium the salutatorian of the class of 2021, Mr. Sungbin Yun.
First of all, Preston, my man, that was a wonderful speech, Mr. President. Also, welcome our amazing school board members, administrators, teachers, families, distinguished guests, and most of all, my fellow seniors. It is so good to see you guys today. You know, I'm truly humbled to be here. And before I begin, I wanted to thank my beautiful mother, my handsome father, and sister. I love you guys. Couldn't be here without you. 아버지, 어머니, 사랑합니다. You know what's crazy? I told my friends a minute ago that I wasn't nervous at all. I now know that I was lying. Deepest apologies. But you have to cut me some slack here, because I was given 2 days to write this speech. I'm not gonna make a joke about waiting till the last minute to write it, because that's definitely not something I do. But I just wanted to say, every graduating class is definitely unique in their own right. But 21, we're just built different. You and I, we did it, folks. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Come on. All right. You see, on my phone, the most texted emoji is the red heart, but that's nowhere enough to convey all the love I have for each and every one of you all. Shout out to Team 31, CNS, and all my homies out there. I didn't forget about you. All right. Also, big appreciation for all the teachers out there and at home. Us students only got a little taste of what it's like during the horror that is breakout rooms, but leading a Zoom class full of black squares, not an easy task. My hat's off to you. Big respect, you guys are amazing. You see, last night, as I sat down to write this speech, I was strolling down memory lane, recounting some of my dearest high school memories from freshman year, sophomore year, brand new Sungbin 1, brand new Sungbin 2. Just to name a few, almost flooding the school with Miss McLeod's shower, and Taha, move your arms. You see, I came into high school without knowing what I was going to do or what I even loved doing. And as cliche as this sounds, I was very fortunate to meet wonderful friends who inspired me and still inspire me on a daily basis, teachers who believed in me and encouraged me, and friendly rivals who pushed me to work harder to where I am today. I learned that each and every one of us have the power to fuel someone else's fire and to help them grow the wings to success. You see, in a way, we're all standing on each other's shoulders. Geometrically speaking, that doesn't really work, so let's not think too hard about it. Battlefield, all 722 of you here tonight have been the fuel to my fire. Now, as we all branch off to unfold our own unique journeys, let us never cease to impact our surroundings and spread love. Let us never cease to appreciate those who influence us. As stated in my favorite book, The Alchemist, dear Battlefield, if you truly want something, the whole universe will conspire to help you achieve it. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Great job. Sungbin, thank you. Great job. And it is now my privilege for me to introduce to you your class of 2021 Valedictorian. This young man is graduating from Battlefield with a GPA of 5.045 and will be attending the University of Virginia in the fall to study engineering. Please welcome to the podium the valedictorian of the class of 2021, Mr. Emmett Hannam.
That was an amazing speech, Sungbin. That was just beautiful. Deep breath. What a glorious evening. Thank you for the weather, for holding up. Although the heat is a bit unbearable, but it's the best we could wish for. Thank you, friends. Thank you, families. Thank you, everyone who made this special moment tonight possible for us. My name is Emmett Hannam, and it is an absolute honor to be here, right now, surrounded by the great potential of tomorrow. Today, we celebrate the efforts, the conquered hardships, and the accomplishments we've experienced over these years. The hard work we've put into achieving our many goals has led to this moment. Enjoy it, right here, right now. Life moves in one direction and passes by quickly. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Yeah, I just quoted Ferris Bueller. Over these past 4 years, we've challenged ourselves to greater heights and molded who we are through the passions we follow, the risks we took, and the problems we faced within and outside the classroom walls. These lessons may have been shared from the experiences of our wonderful mentors, or the many mistakes we've made along the way. For the latter example, I enjoyed the freedom and responsibility of a driver's license for all of 4 hours before meeting the city of Manassas' finest. Shout out to Officer Heiderman for teaching me everything I need to know about stop signs. Now I know I have to stop at all of them. Now, let's recognize our amazing teachers, coaches, and administrators at Battlefield High School, whose wisdom, sacrifice, and diligence is greatly appreciated by us. Thank you, Mr. Metz, for sharing your immense enthusiasm and motivation with us. Thank you, Professor Drake, for the hard work you've put into creating opportunities for us. Thank you, Mr. Meermans, for encouraging us to explore the world and never stop learning. For the teachers, coaches, and faculty I never had the privilege to learn from, thank you for putting in the time and energy to prepare us for life after Battlefield. Thank you for making a profound difference in our lives. Today may be the last day we're known as high schoolers, but it is the beginning of a journey towards a bright future, a future lit by the wisdom generously shared with us. The world is accelerating in complexity and uncertainty, but that will not daunt us. We will dare every day in the pursuit of happiness and understanding for a better tomorrow. As the innocent Andy Dufresne once said, "Get busy living or get busy dying." You will get nowhere standing idly in complacency nor in remorse. Strive to grow. Congratulations, class of 2021. Go Bobcats.
Thank you, Emmett. Another job well done. Congratulations, both Sungbin and Emmett. I would now like to welcome our final speaker to the podium. At this time, I would like to welcome a student who will be attending Virginia Tech in the fall to study computer science. Would you please give a warm welcome to our SCA president, Mr. Blake Martorella.
Thank you, Mr. Ferreira. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Ferreira and the administrative team for your dedication and support you have offered myself as well as my fellow classmates. Additionally, I would like to thank our honorable guests who have joined us in celebration this evening. And finally, I would like to thank my parents, grandparents, brothers, and all of the relatives joining us online today. I love you all very much, and thank you for your dedication and support. Like I said before, my name is Blake Martorella, and as your student body president, I've been blessed with the opportunity to engage with so many faculty, parents, and community leaders over the past 4 years. Most importantly, I'm thankful for each and every moment I've spent with you, fellow graduates. We truly are a class of firsts, welcoming and embracing a brand new learning style, experiencing Battlefield's very first virtual platform for school spirit, and seeing firsthand the unprecedented success at various SCA events and elections. I don't just consider the class of 2021 my friends. You all are my friends. My apologies. Y'all are not my peers, y'all are my friends. And I thank every moment and every opportunity I have spent engaging with you all. Now, I know I'm the only thing standing between you and your diplomas, so I'll be sure to make this quick. Our high school experience was anything but ordinary. It was so wildly different from anything witnessed in the era of modern education. Becoming a lifelong learner and high school graduate, we are now handed the tools of adaptability, scalability, and innovation, forever willing to welcome in a new technology and indulge beyond our creature comforts. Did we ever think that the word canvas would mean something beyond our art class? Many of you today may think of the names such as Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Mary Jackson as individuals never content with the modern standards. When I think of a great innovator, however, Grace Murray Hopper comes to mind. Dr. Hopper was a female naval officer during World War II and is known as the mother of computer science. With her inspiring achievements, she linked the world with the first programming compiler. And without it, modern computers as we know them would not exist. So therefore, we can most likely attribute Dr. Hopper to the creation of Zoom and various other learning platforms we've used throughout this year. Throughout history, humans have sought improvements, and now it is our responsibility to embrace the spirit of innovation. My fellow graduates and future Bobcats, I truly believe that we must continue carving out this pathway of first beyond Battlefield. Education is a component to human success that will never leave us, and our passion knows no bounds. We as students, forever wielding the lifelong pursuit to learn that Battlefield has gifted us, must be the catalyst to innovation and drive the engine to shape a brand new world. We are sons and daughters, we are students, we are innovators, but most importantly, we will forever be Bobcats. Now let us rise to the future and cheers to the next chapter. Thank you very much.
At this time, the moment you've been waiting for, we will begin the presentation of diplomas. Thank you to our name readers and those assisting with diploma presentation on stage. And I'd like to ask a favor from the audience. It is very important that every family can hear their child's name as it is read as they walk the stage. So while polite applause and cheering is welcome, please keep it a little bit to a minimum until we finish reading names, and then we'll have a full celebration. And the other thing I just want to say, we have a large graduating class, and I know there's a tendency, especially for the poor people, where their last name is W or Y. I know it gets long, but you know what? I want the graduates to think about this. This is the last time you are ever going to be together, every one of you, in one place at the same time again. So even though it may take a little long, let's really enjoy this, okay? Without further ado, let's begin.
Sarah Elizabeth Barker. Janice Sebastian Barreto.
Would the class of 2021 please rise? We are all extremely proud of you and your accomplishments. Please enjoy this last moment together as a class. At this time, I ask you to turn your tassels from your right side to the left to signify the declaration I'm about to make. By the power vested in me by the Virginia Department of Education and the Prince William County School Board, I now pronounce you graduates of Battlefield High School. Congratulations! As Michael Scott would say, may your hats fly as high as your dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this evening's commencement. Our students will now proceed from the pavilion to meet you outside the main gates. Please meet your graduates there. Thank you so much for being part of this celebration. Good evening.